Okay, well, we're out here another day in the shop, and this time it's evening. What I'm doing here is, as you know from Facebook, I have started these two molds here. One being the mold of the, we had the paint roller here with the textures. Right here for the Velociraptor, where you take that and just roll it on the Raptor and it makes the textures right there, like that. There. Well, I had another roller that had different textures, and I couldn't put it on there because it doesn't come out that way. It doesn't come up like that. So what I had to do was I had to take some silicone, which is right here, and it's ready to go on this and then this. This is a great white shark sheath mold that I made up. The shark sheath is right here. This is just a basic tape roll on clay. Put that in there, pour the rest of the silicone in there just to solidify. You can tell it's ready because the cup has all the silicone in it that's done. Now what we can do is we can get another batch of this, and I'm going to do that because it's ready to go. I'm going to mix up another little batch of silicone and finish pouring this right here in there. And then of course this is done. Before I do this, I want to finish this project off first. So basically what I'm going to do here, strip off the silicone off the stick right here. I'm going to pour in a batch of silicone in here to mix for this. When I used that cup was only a small sampling of silicone. I forget exactly how much it was. I think it was like 122 grams, and that was for this and this. I am not going to need that much to finish filling this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cup here, because no silicone came in here, no drips came in here. And I'm going to put the base in this cup. I'm just cleaning it out to make sure it's clear. What we have is a drug scale right here. We'll scale that out. We'll scale that out to 0. We can try for 100 grams. I'm going to eyeball it really, because I would think it's going to be about 2 ounces. That's probably all I'll need. But I need to see what the weight of 2 ounces is. So let me do that. I'm going to eyeball this at 2 ounces right here and put that in there, because this is substantially larger. So we can try 2 ounces. I know we don't want to go for 4. So I'm going to pour 2 ounces of silicone in here real quick. Right about there. That's all I need, right there. You gotta be careful, this stuff will get everywhere. This is your silicone base. It's just standard silicone base right here. That will get everywhere if you don't get it up. Okay, see, it's already making a mess right here. Let me get my paper towel and put it off to the side here. So that's the thing about this channel. It's unedited and uncensored, so you see and get everything good, bad, and ugly. Mistakes happen. Things go wrong. I drop something on my foot, say a cuss word, you get it all. That's what makes me different from some of the other people on this YouTube. I don't edit or uncensor any of my videos. What you see is what you get. Good, bad, and ugly. The mistakes I make, the goof ups, the bad stuff that might happen, you know, that's it. You see it all. Okay, now what I need to do is tear this out. Alright. We see that it comes up to how much weight is that going to be? Come on. That's way too much silicone. Seriously. I need to put some of this back. I don't have another project to put this on. So I'm going to scrape some of this back in here. I'm going to drop some of this back in here. This is way too much use. Alright. Put that down out of the way. Right here. And never mind, this is clay. Okay, now this is teared out at 0. We'll put that on there. We'll find out it's 62 grams. So we need 6 grams of catalyst. I know I've got catalyst over here in the closet. Let me see if I can find it. Down here on the floor. Right here. Brand new unopened bottle. Catalyst right here. There we go. Shake this up. Last bottle of catalyst I had, I ended up inadvertently poking a hole in it by accident at the bottom. And it actually started leaking out on me. So I had to find something that I could bond it with to keep it from leaking. And you want to know what I patched it with? Surprise, surprise, silicone. Bingo, yes. I painted a thin thing of silicone on there, and it was catalyzed, and it stuck. And it sealed it up. Because this is a catalyst for the silicone. So I put some already sealed catalyzed silicone, mixed it up, put it on there, and lo and behold, it worked. Okay, so we need 6 grams, not 64, we need 6 grams of this catalyst here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a high pour. I'm going to get the 6 grams in here. There's 1, 2, 4. Ooh, that's 6. Good Lord, that's 8. Let's pour a little bit of that back. There's 6 right there on the nose. All right, cool. Okay, so we'll take this. We'll set this aside over here, somewhere where it doesn't leak. Okay, we'll take our stick. We don't need our drug scale. I'll clean that off. Ooh. So if I rub that on there, there's any silicone, that little catalyst, it will actually solidify that silicone and peel right off of the scale. Okay, so we're done with that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix this up here. Right here, just mix this up. We have to get a solid blue color. Has to be all solid blue, no streaks, no nothing. And this is a former silicone stick, so it's not contaminating anything because it's just silicone. So if there's any residual silicone in here, it will stick to that. Now this is a brushable consistency. This is what I would use, like if I were going to brush this on here, I'd take a chip brush and brush it on Big Girl when she's done to make a jacket. And then do a fiberglass mother mold over her. But she is going to be done in complete resin, not silicone. So so I've got this where it's all blue, this blue color. So now what I need to do is I just need to fill this mold here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking this is going to be way too much silicone for this mold. This is one great white shark's tooth here. And this mold. And I started this morning and thought I ran out of silicone and had to find out if I still had more left. And lo and behold, I was fortunate enough to find out, yes, I did have more left. And I had to make that before I could finish this off and fill this mold. And then it was just too hot today. So I thought, well, I'll wait till tonight and do this because it will just stick to the mold and fill it up. Because that's the thing about silicone, it will stick to silicone. That's why you can take your paintbrush, use a little brush, a little toothpick stick, popsicle stick, sorry. Put that down there. Just kind of move that around to what goes all around the inside of the mold. And get down in there with no bubbles, no nothing. You gotta have that where there's no bubbles, no nothing. I think I still have one cup. Worst case scenario, see, it was good enough to put some of that silicone back, because if I had too much, I would have wasted it. And now I find out, well, I might not have done, might not have done that. Because I need this mold to top off. So I have to mix up another 2-ounce batch. And guess what? That's going to be fine too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till this cures and then do that. Now, if you get a little bit that doesn't cure, that's okay. It's not going to make that much difference. It's best that the whole batch is cured, but if you got one little spot that doesn't cure, it's all right. What I need to do is be assured. That's why I covered the tooth first. I made sure I had the entire tooth covered, front, sides, and back, top, and bottom. See, I was incorrect in my assumption of, oh, that's way too much silicone, and then put some back. Because that was indeed, that would have been enough. That might have been too much, but now looking at this, it would have probably been enough. I still need to cap this off right here, because it's not coming up all the way. And this is not a runny silicone. Like I said, this is brush on. It would stick to a vertical surface. I'm not going to do it on her because I don't want to mess her up. I'm not even finished with her yet. Don't need to start messing her up now. What I can do this is scrape all the silicone off, put it in here, make sure this mold is filled. I kind of got to do it before it starts pulling away, because that's when the silicone will be starting to cure. It's when it starts pulling away, and that's when you're supposed to leave it alone. Otherwise, you'll pull it off of whatever it is you're working on. I see there's a little bit of catalyst there. I can just squeeze that and mix that in there. It's not going to be a big deal. That's not going to affect the mold itself. By not curing and stuff in one spot, it's going to be, you know. I always take his popsicle stick and just kind of run it down the side and pick up all the silicone I can. That way I might eliminate myself from having to make another batch, because I know if I did another 2 milligram batch, ooh, it's going to be too much. Anyway, that's pretty much all I can get out of there right now. So I can't be a perfectionist and have OCD get the better of me doing this. All right, leave that alone. That's done. Just leave it alone. Wipe your hands and go on. Move on. All right. Now, moving on to this pattern that I started for the Velociraptor. This is a print pattern. Now, there's different ways that you could do this. I was explaining to my friends on Facebook last night that what you can do is you can use tools to make scale patterns. You can use anything that has an imprint, an impression that you like on it. Now, this paint roller that I got, that I showed you, will make scale impressions. However, I like this paint roller here and how it looks, and I think that would look good on here. But if I do it that way, it's going to push it in and not raise it. So what I had to do was I'd mix up some silicone like that, brush the silicone on the paint roller where it got all the impressions in there. And so I just peel it off the paint roller. Like I said, the silicone will not stick to anything but silicone. And these paint rollers are made out of rubber, so they will not stick to each other. So what we have to do, peel that off like that. Now you see those impressions right there, right? Well, let's go to a spot on Clever Girl here. So right here on the forehead, I don't have anything right there. And what we'll do is we'll press this on here. Now we might have to heat up the silicone, or heat up the clay, and do that. Because sometimes when you have soft clay, you can make impressions on it. But it's basically pushing it down. That's why it's a thick pad to push down and make the impressions. I'll probably end up heating up a thing. Let me do that. Let me grab my heat gun real quick. I got a heat gun up here. I'll plug it in, we'll heat up a spot on it, and I'll show you. This is oil-based clay, by the way. Find my line of where this thing is attached. Hang on a second, stupid. All right. There it is. Right here. Okay. Plug this in. There we go. All right, take your heat gun on a low setting. You've got 1 off and 2. Go on 1. And you get that low setting. And if you put it on here, you can melt the clay. You can heat the clay up and melt it and get soft, see? And I can melt a section right here. I can actually do that with high. Melt a section right there. Then take this and lay this on top and press it in. And boy, does she want to move. There we go. See? So you get the idea there. And what I'd like to do is just when it's warm, you can do what's called roll pressing. I want to put one on the forehead right here just to melt this down. And see how good this looks right here on the forehead. But I've got alligator skin up here that I can do the same thing with the silicone on. And I can get that impression with silicone, but on this side, and do the same thing. So I'll put this down here and we'll see what it looks like. Look at that. Not too shabby. I probably need to run it a little bit more. But you get the idea. I mean, you have the pad. And all you do is just take the pad and press it into the clay. And it makes those impressions as you need right here. See, that's very nice. I like the way that came out. So all I have to do is just take this, soften up the clay. Let's do this right here on the face. Right there on the side of the face. Shut up. Just take that, lay that on there. And roll press that in there. And she should come up with a bunch of indentions. There we go. There's some. So it's very nicely how it makes those impressions and indentions. And what you can do is, like I said, if I had a paint roller, if I had the ability to put that into a roller, all I'd have to do is press down and roll it across and then make those indentions like that. Which I don't mind, but like I said, I want to go with a variety of indentions and impressions for the scales to make them look different. So, you know, that's the idea anyway. So I might be experimenting with this a little bit further. And putting something like a block of wood or something on the back of here. So I can just take this thing, and I could take a little piece of block of wood right here and put this on here like that. That way I'd have it like rubber banded down and I can just press it on here. And roll press, see? When I've got something that I can roll press it with, it works. So that's the idea on how to make impression prints with paint rollers. You can do it with tools. You can do it with a number of things. It doesn't really matter. It can be done with a number of things. But fortunately, I have paint rollers, so that was easy enough for me to do. All right, and it's soft enough out here that this clay softens up. I don't have to worry about heating her up and making those impressions because it gets warm out here. Sometimes when I come out to work, that I can do that. So anyway, that's it for the impression part of the tutorial. You see where we made these impressions. These scales right here and right here, they come up, and then right here. So you get the idea. There are different, based on the pictures that I'm looking at and I'm referencing, there are different scale textures. So, see, this is one of the earliest models. And they got big scales and they got little scales. And I know there's a lip line here that I have to sculpt in by hand. And I'm looking to do that, or trying to find an oval-shaped little tool that I can just put in there and stipple in easy, because it's easier to do that than it is to sculpt. Because trust me, when you sculpt and you make a mess, knowing me and my OCD, if I make a mess, it's going to cause me a problem. Because I'm going to get angry and then I'm going to just mess it up. Anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And then we will see you on the next one. Thank you very, very much. GoPro, stop recording.